My name is Margaret Whitmore, and I'm 72 years old. I've lived a good life, raised 3 children, and thought I knew what family meant. But nothing prepared me for what happened last November. My daughter Elena and I hadn't spoken in over a year. The silence between us felt like a physical weight, something I carried everywhere. I didn't even know what I'd done wrong. One day, we were close, sharing Sunday dinners and phone calls. The next, she stopped returning my messages. Then, out of nowhere, Elena called. Her voice was bright, almost too bright. "Mom, I'd like you to come for dinner this Friday. Please, it's time we talked." My heart leaped. Finally, whatever wall had grown between us was coming down. I said yes immediately that Friday evening. I drove to Elena's beautiful home across town. She'd married well. Her husband Richard was a successful architect. They had a lovely house with a circular driveway and manicured gardens. I parked and walked toward the front door, my hands trembling slightly. I'd brought Elena's favorite flowers, pink peonies. But before I could ring the bell, the door opened. A crack. A woman appeared, Rosa, the housekeeper I had met once before. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with something that looked like fear. She stepped outside quickly, pulling the door nearly closed behind her. "Mrs. Whitmore," she whispered, urgently, glancing back at the house. "Don't go in, please. Leave immediately." I froze, confused. "What? Why?" "Elena invited me." "I know," Rosa interrupted, her voice barely audible. "But it's a trap. Please, just trust me. Go now, before they see you. Drive away. And wait. I'll call you in 10 minutes and explain everything." Her fear was real. I could see it in the way her hands shook, in how she kept looking over her shoulder. Something in her desperation convinced me. I nodded, backed away, and hurried to my car. My mind raced as I drove down the street and parked a block away. What? Trap? Why would my own daughter trap me? Nothing made sense. True to her word, Rosa called exactly 10 minutes later. "Mrs. Whitmore, I'm so sorry, but I had to warn you. Your daughter, she's planning to humiliate you tonight." Humiliate me? Elena? Why? Rosa's voice cracked with emotion. "She blames you for her father's death. She thinks you drove him to his heart attack with your controlling behavior. Tonight, she invited all her friends, 20 people, to watch her confront you publicly. She wants to make you apologize in front of everyone for ruining her childhood and killing her father." The words hit me like stones. My husband David had died of a heart attack 2 years ago. We'd had a good marriage, not perfect, but full of love. And yes, I'd been a firm mother, but I'd never been cruel. "That's not true," I whispered. "I loved David. And Elena. I gave her everything." "I know," Rosa said gently. "I've worked for your daughter for 3 years. I've watched her become bitter and angry. She rewrites history in her mind, and her friends encourage her. They feed on drama. Tonight was going to be her big moment." I sat in my car, tears streaming down my face. The betrayal cut deeper than any pain I'd known. "Why did you help me?" I finally asked. "Because I've seen real cruelty in my life, Mrs. Whitmore. And you're not cruel. The few times you visited, you treated me with kindness. You remembered my name, asked about my children. Your daughter doesn't even look at me most days. I couldn't watch her destroy you for entertainment." I thanked Rosa, my voice breaking, and we ended the call. But I didn't go home. Something rose up in me, not quite anger, but something fiercer. A need for truth, for justice. I drove back to Elena's house and parked across the street where I could see but not be seen. Through the large windows, I watched my daughter greeting guests. She wore a black dress, as if attending a funeral. My funeral, perhaps. I called my son Thomas, who lived 2 hours away. "Mom, everything okay?" I explained everything, the invitation, Rose's warning, what Elena had planned. Thomas was silent for a long moment. Then, "I'm coming. Don't do anything until I get there." While I waited, I called my youngest, Sophie, who lived out of state. I told her too. She started crying immediately. "Mom, Elena's been saying terrible things about you online, in her private social media groups. I've been trying to defend you, but she blocked me. She's convinced herself of this whole narrative that you were this monster. Why didn't you tell me? I thought it would hurt you. I thought maybe she'd work through it." "I am so sorry." 2 hours later, Thomas arrived. He parked behind me, and we sat together in the dark, watching Elena's dinner party through the windows. "What do you want to do, Mom?" he asked quietly. I thought about it. I could walk away, cut Elena out of my life the way she'd tried to cut me out. I could fight back, expose her cruelty publicly the way she'd planned to expose me. but neither felt right. I want her to know the truth, I said finally. And I want her to understand what she's done. Thomas nodded. He'd always been wise. Even as a boy, we waited until the dinner party ended and the guests left. Then, around 11 o'clock, we knocked on Elena's door. She opened it, still in her black dress, her face flushed from wine. When she saw us, her expression crumbled surprise, then guilt, then defensive anger, all in quick succession. What are you doing here? Can we come in? I asked calmly. She hesitated, then stepped aside. We sat in her living room, Elena, Thomas, Richard her husband, and me. Rosa had quietly disappeared into the kitchen, but I knew she was listening. I know what you planned tonight, I said. Rosa warned me. Elena's face went white, then red. She had no right. She had every right, Thomas interrupted. She saved MOM from a public humiliation you planned like it was entertainment. You don't understand, Elena said, her voice rising. She controlled Dad's entire life, every decision, every moment. She suffocated him until his heart gave out. That's not true, I said quietly. Your father and I made decisions together. Yes, I was the more organized one, the planner. But he loved that about me. He told me so all the time. You're rewriting history. Elena shouted. No, Thomas said firmly. You are. I was there too, Elena. I saw their marriage. It wasn't perfect, but it was real and loving. You've invented this villain version of MOM to explain your own unhappiness. Tears streamed down Elena's face now. I miss him so much. And she's still here, and he's gone. And it's not fair. And there it was. The real truth beneath all the anger. My daughter wasn't cruel. She was drowning in grief and looking for someone to blame. I moved to sit beside her on the couch. She tried to pull away, but I took her hand firmly. I miss him too, I said. Every single day. And you're right, it's not fair that he's gone. But Elena, sweetheart, destroying me won't bring him back. And making me your enemy won't ease your pain, she sobbed then. Really sobbed. The way she hadn't at David's funeral. I held her while she cried. This daughter I'd robbed as a baby, watched grow into a woman, and nearly lost to bitterness. Richard sat with his head in his hands, clearly overwhelmed. When Elena finally calmed down, I said, I forgive you for tonight, but I need you to understand you hurt me deeply. Not just tonight, but this whole year of silence. I know, she whispered. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough yet, Thomas added. You need to make this right, starting with an apology to Rosa. Elena looked up, startled. Rosa, she risked her job to protect MOM. You owe her everything. Slowly, Elena nodded. We talked through the night about David, about grief, about the stories we tell ourselves and the truths we avoid. It wasn't easy. There were more tears, more painful truths. But when dawn came through the windows, something had shifted. Before I left, Elena hugged me tightly. Will you come back? For dinner? A real one. Yes, I said. But no more black dresses. And new audiences. She laughed, a broken sound. But real. As I drove home that morning, exhausted but somehow lighter, I thought about Rosa. Her courage had saved more than just me that night. It had saved my daughter from becoming someone she'd regret the next week. I brought Rosa a gift, a photo album I'd made of her children, which she'd once shown me pictures of. Inside, I'd written, "Thank you for your kindness when it mattered most." She cried when I gave it to her. Elena and I have been rebuilding our relationship slowly. It's not perfect. Some wounds take time to heal, but we have Sunday dinners again, and we talk honestly now, even when it's hard. I learned something through all of this. Sometimes the people we expect to hurt us are the villains, and sometimes the heroes come from unexpected places. Sometimes love looks like a maid's whispered warning in a doorway. Sometimes forgiveness is the only revenge worth taking, and sometimes the longest journey is the one back to each other.